The opinions expressed on Late Night Health are presented for educational and informational purposes only and are not intended as a diagnosis, treatment, or as a substitute for other professional medical advice, diagnosis, and treatment. Please consult a local physician or other healthcare professional for your specific healthcare and or medical needs or concerns.
Late Night Health is proud of our partnership with the EBC, the Evolutionary Business Council. Check them out at ebcouncil.com.
Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn. I'm going to read this little paragraph. Our next guest is Donnell White. Donnell was diagnosed with breast cancer on the same day as her best friend of 31 years, Patricia Martin. That was April 27, 2017, not that long ago. Donnell credits Patricia with saving her life, as it was she who scheduled a mammogram and insisted that Donnell join her. I'm tearing up. Donnell tears up every time she shares the story because, unfortunately, Patricia's cancer metastasized to her brain and she did not survive. Donnell has been cancer-free since early 2018, and she's paying it forward by encouraging others to be tested. Early detection and early treatment saves lives. It saved Donnell's, and she's so grateful to Patricia for that, and we dedicate this segment of our show to Patricia Martin. That's an amazing story, Donnell.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It is.
In the African American community, is there a higher incidence of breast cancer than in other communities?
There is. The rate is 56% higher.
Oh my!
It's 40% higher than any other woman, any other ethnicity group. And it gets higher in Los Angeles.
And is that because of lack of education, lack of support?
I believe it's two things. It's a component of not wanting to know, and it's also it's priority. It's priority. It's not priority in a lot of people's world.
Tell us about the Circle of Promise, because that's specifically education targeted to women in the African American community.
Oh, well, it was created. Initiative was created to help rewrite the story. The promise is to empower all African American women to get information, get support, and gain access to services that could potentially save their lives. When one joins the circle, they help Komen keep the promise and encourage other women. It's to, just like Patricia did, it was to encourage me to not dismiss it, so we can continue to spread the word on how important it is to get the mammograms and the free services that Komen offers. So there's not a cost to it, so it's really no excuse not to go.
And I love the fact that you're paying it forward now, encouraging women in general to be tested in one way or another for breast cancer. The upcoming More Than Pink Walk is happening on February 29th. People will be able to come up to you and get a hug and talk to you about your experiences. Were you before Patricia said something to you and said, "Hey, we're going. Here's the date. We're going. You and me together." Had you even thought about being tested?
I was faithfully getting my mammograms every year, and so this particular time, I give myself self-examinations every quarter. I say every quarter, and that particular day I felt alone. That evening, and the next morning, because we talk all the time, she said she had felt one also. And she was on her way to get tested, and I told her, I'm under a lot of stress, I'll check it later.
Wow. So, and she dragged you kicking and screaming to go.
She said, "You go now. You go today. I'm going. You're going too."
Got it.
So that's what we did.
Why do you think many people, many women, and for that matter, men as well, they don't want to know if they have cancer?
You know, I think the word cancer has such an ugly definition to it. It's just so many. It's not pretty, and I don't think it's the cancer itself. I believe it's the treatment. But I don't know why it is that people, they don't want to know, but when they find out and it's too late, then, you know, it goes from, it just goes to another level when we could have just addressed it. And we take things like that for granted, and I'm guilty of that, but not anymore.
But it's a common thing. I mean, people, you know, we've talked to many survivors over the years. We've talked to doctors, and when they say you have cancer, the first thing that almost everybody thinks is, I'm dead.
Yes, that is the first thing you think.
Yeah. And that's got to be hard to deliver as well as to receive. I mean,
well, you know, when they delivered that news, they didn't put a D behind it. They explained but they never put the D behind it. They never put the death behind it. So I knew that there was a fighting chance. I knew nothing about metastasize, and I knew nothing about that. So when they did not put a D behind my diagnosis, I knew that there was a chance.
And up until a number of years ago, nobody knew about metastasized, you know, breast cancer anyway. And there was just the big conference a few weeks ago in Los Angeles about that. And, you know, 300-400 women were there, and their caregivers and or family. It was an amazing event. The lack of education, and not only in the African American community, I think in general, that, you know, breast cancer happens to other people, not to me. Prostate cancer doesn't happen to me, it happens to them. Would you agree with that?
I absolutely agree with that. And it really opens up the eyes of the support group, your family, when you get a diagnosis such as that. You really start to look at things differently, because you never thought that would happen to that family member. So that means if it happened to that family member, it can very well happen to me.
What is the number one message you want to share with the community of Los Angeles?
I think in order to take care of our community, our family, our friends, we have to take care of ourselves first. And we have to genuinely start taking our health serious. What we eat, how how physical we are through the day. Because I'm not going to say it won't happen to you, but if you're treating your body like a castle, or like it's really, really important that you're not just dressing it up every day, and start taking care of it from the inside out. Some things can be avoided, not all things. But I would encourage women, period, that we take care of a lot of people, so we first have to start taking care of ourselves. We can't keep putting ourselves on the back burner.
And that's what women tend to do that anyway. They're moms, you know, and I think half of the population work as well. So they've got kids, they got basketball, they got soccer, they got all that stuff, and there's very little time for themselves. And
Absolutely.
And you have to put yourself at the top of the list. Well, let's talk about the More Than Pink Walk. It's coming up at Dodger Stadium on February 29th. Ooh, leap year, huh? Right?
Yes.
And you can find out more at KomenLACounty.org. Komen.org/walk. That's KomenLACounty.org/walk. I know Donnell will be there, and we appreciate what you're doing to help increase the knowledge about breast cancer to all women, but specifically to the African American community with the Circle of Promise. And we really appreciate all that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. My pleasure.
Stay tuned for more here on Late Night Health. Robert Clancy coming up next, and we're going to be talking about setting intentions and how that can make you healthy. Don't go away as Late Night Health continues. Join us at latenighthealth.com and facebook.com/Late Night Health Radio.
Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Words are a critical aspect of success. How you get your point across is a crucial part of what makes anything sell. So do it right and hire a writer. Whether it's articles, blog posts, technical writings, website content, product descriptions, or ghostwriting anything from a novel to a nonfiction book about your navel, contact Servet Hassan. If you want it to sell, write it right. Email Servet at servet@servethassan.com.
The latest from the greatest, the best in new music by classic rockers, with your host, the insane Daryl Wayne.
This is Alice Cooper, and if Daryl Wayne is insane, what does that make me? Criminally insane. Stick around to find out.
Many of the artist interviews for the latest from the greatest have been captured on audiobook. There is a Volume 1 and Volume 2. Great information and conversations with people in the industry and people surrounded by the industry, and of course the rock stars themselves.
I'm the Reverend Al Green, and you're listening to the insane Daryl Wayne. And I said Wayne Insane.
You can find it on Amazon or Blackstone Audio. Search for the latest from the greatest from Daryl Wayne, DARRELL WAYNE.
Hello, this is Weird Al Yankovic, and you're listening to the insane Daryl Wayne, aren't you?
Late Night Health continues with our regular contributor, Robert Clancy, the author of The Messenger. And I guess it was announced today. You showed pictures on Facebook this morning, Robert, so I can say that it's in pre-production?
It is, yes. It's in the early stages of pre-production, so that means funding and the screenplay is being developed for the book, yes.
Wow. All right. You can also find more information about Robert at guidetothesoul.com. We're going to talk about setting intentions today, and we'll talk about that in general, but I want to see if we can focus this on having good health and how setting an intention can help with that. Robert, what is your inspirational thought on setting intentions?
Yeah, my inspirational thought is set your intention with all your heart, and you will always end up in a place of beauty. And that beauty is how you visualize your life, your health, everything. And, I set an intention a while back, and, it takes action, too. So it's not just setting it. It's like setting the GPS, but you still have to drive the car. And I started going to the gym. I was, and I was swimming and probably like 3 days a week. And then it went to 4, and then I'm at 5. I'm up to 7, and some days I'm going twice a day. And I visualized how I was going to transform with that. And I know you've seen me, when I go to Children's Hospital Spider-Man, that the suit does not have built-in pecs or anything or muscles. You have to look like it because it's a theatrical replica of that. And I'm bringing it, and it's really visualizing those things. And when you do that, it transforms you. And if you can apply it to your health, you'll just I've had an amazing experience. I crave going to the gym now, and it's like I can't get enough.
It's interesting. After we talked yesterday, I did go to the gym and did a light workout, and we'll go back tomorrow. I've got to work up to 7 days a week like you are. And my thought was, my intention of working out is to free my mind, okay, to be healthier not only physically, but also mentally. Do you find that working out does help you do that, and is that part of the intention?
Yeah, there's two parts to it for the health. So you have the physical part where what you're talking about, where you go into the gym or whatever, and you're doing a routine. But I've also coupled that with something I do in the evening, which is I do my gratitudes and then I meditate. And it really just puts you at a place of peace. And those two things have made it go nuclear as far as my ability for cognitive as well as the physical parts and your attitude. And I'm just super happy. I mean, more than I've probably been. And you know how happy I am. Take that and then add, exponential onto it, because I've just been super happy with everything. I can't explain it.
Well, Robert normally is, in the 5 years or so that we've known each other, has always been at an 8. Occasionally he'll slip to a 7.8, but recently on that 10-point Richter scale of happy, Robert's been at about a 96. Okay? I mean, you can just hear it in his voice. Setting an intention. Let's set one. Show us how to set an intention, let's say, for health.
Yeah, you do it in the present tense. So that's the key. Instead of saying, I will be, or I should be, you say, I now am. And then you fill in the blank. So I now am healthy. I'm now eating healthy food, and it's creating amazing benefits and opportunities in my life. And you want to couple that with something that's a positive outcome that has already happened. And when you set that intention in the present tense, it becomes real to you. And even to reinforce it further than that, write it down or draw a picture of what that looks like. And I'm a big fan of light boards, and there's a lot of stuff. If you check on the internet, you can Google that. It's setting pictures. Now, the pictures don't have to be specific. They just have to mean something to you. So whatever that is, if you put a picture of fruit, that might mean healthy eating for you. And when you see
and you get those,
it's going to set your frame.
I'm sorry, Robert. The photos are not something that you draw or take a picture of. You can cut them out of a magazine.
You can cut them out of magazines. You can even print them up. Search on the internet and just find images that resonate with you, and then put those on the board. Yes.
When you're meditating and doing this, I asked this question earlier of the producer of Beyond the Secret, where your friend Joe Vitale is featured in, and I will be meeting him and Lisa Winston, who's been on the show a number of times and is the co-host of the Mindset Reset TV show. I'll be saying hi to them on Thursday evening. We talked about religion and setting an intention. Is setting an intention really a prayer?
It's in a way. I practice the gratitudes with that, but I also do with my gratitudes. I do say a silent prayer with those. Just to center yourself. It's always good to do something like that, because it connects you more with the divine, or with some other space that brings you to that level, and really brings that peace around what you're setting the intention on. But more so, writing them down, repeating them, visualizing them, and experiencing them in the real. Now, Dr. Joe Vitale is a master at this, as far as those types of things, where he once said to me, you have to experience it as if it's in your hands right now, whatever that is, and live it and feel it, and it just happens.
You said writing it down. What about typing it on a computer, or is it writing better?
I prefer to use my own hand, and it was Richard Branson said that he writes his goals with a pen, because he has to put them in with his own hand. And I'm sure you've seen the amazing things he's accomplished by setting those goals. I like to do that, but you can certainly type them up. And what I even find better is to draw the picture, like I said earlier, because it opens up your creative side of your mind, a different place in your brain that you don't normally use for that type of thing.
So it can be a stick figure, because if you can't draw, you could still do a stick figure as long as it means something to you. And you also mentioned repeating. So I want to be, I am
right.
now.
You don't want to be, you are.
IRA.
I am now.
I am now. How often do you repeat it? 5 times, 10 times? Do you think about it every couple of hours during the day? What's that part of the equation?
It's what you feel, and it'll be guided at that point. So you can just leave it on autopilot, even if you only do it once. And I found that even having a circle of people that do this together, and then you affirm the person. The one person will set their intention, and then you ask if everybody's in agreement with that, and it even brings it at a higher vibration.
So what you do is like a mastermind group?
Form a group and do this.
So every week, let's say you meet weekly, Robert and Daryl and me, we meet and we get your intention, we get Daryl's intention, we get my intention, and we all think about it, send it up as a prayer.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And ask for the higher good in whatever it is. The other part of my equation is whatever it is, it's for the good of everyone who's concerned to do something good in the world, and that's where the intention rises the highest.
Have you heard people say, "Oh, that's just wishful thinking. That doesn't work. Life is meant to be hard." You're saying quite the opposite, that life is meant to be good and easy.
Well, here's a simple equation. Even if you don't believe in that side of it, if you set your goal on something, and I was just talking to somebody about it, if you thought, I want this car, right? And as soon as you say you want the car, you see it everywhere.
Absolutely.
And eventually you're going to be driving that car.
Right. Interesting. Listen, Robert, we're out of time, but we appreciate it. Next week, we're going to have a special edition of Late Night Health with Robert and Ramona. Stay tuned for that. That'll happen next week here on Late Night Health, full half hour of the show. If you want information on Robert, go to guidetothesoul.com, guidetothesoul.com, and congratulations on the pre-production of The Messenger, which I saw on Facebook early this morning. I'm Mark Alyn. Thank you, Daryl. Appreciate it.
My pleasure as always.
And thank you very much at home for listening. If you have any questions, you can write us at info@latenighthealth.com and visit us at latenighthealth.com. I'm Mark Alyn. Have a great week.
You've been listening to Late Night Health with Mark Alyn. Join us again next week.
Recently, I met Jacqueline from Bright here in Los Angeles. She gave me a hearing exam and then showed me how to hear again with the new Signia Pure Series hearing aids, and she can give you your life back too. I hear birds chirping, birds cooing, and even my wife. They easily connect to my smartphone. The Signia hearing aids are amazing, and with the charge and go, I don't have to fiddle with batteries and hear all day long. Not hearing is frustrating for you and your family. I know you don't have a problem, but trust me, call Bright Here now for a free hearing exam, a $125 value, yours free, just for making an appointment now. There are offices throughout the Los Angeles area. Call Bright Here now at 323-424-7100. That's 323-424-7100 for a free hearing exam. There's no obligation. Call now, 323-424-7100, or visit them on the web at brighthere.com.
Welcome to Guide to the Soul. This is Robert Clancy. The greatest bridge you can cross in life is one that connects your heart with another's. Giving of yourself is the ultimate gift of receiving. Love bridges the distance between any two hearts, even if that expanse is between here and heaven. This connection is unbreakable when it's built upon true unconditional love. So why not love unconditionally? You're not giving up anything except your fears. Love is worth more than any one heart can ever hold. That's why it's meant to be shared. Isn't it time to use your heart to show the world how big infinity is?
For more inspiration from Robert Clancy, visit guidetothesoul.com or go to the Moments with Robert page on latenighthealth.com.